All right, welcome collectors to another session of Collector to Collector, where I bring great YouTubers from throughout the community so we can learn a bit about how they get started with collecting, their collecting philosophies, their experiences on YouTube, and a little about their life. So this time I've got another great guest. Stick around and check it out.
Welcome to For Collectors.
All right, I am proud to welcome to For Collectors none other than Vintage Card Steve. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks for having me, John.
Oh, it's great to have you. You are definitely someone who is active in shouting out many people in this community, which is well appreciated. So, especially those new channels starting out, it's initially hard to get a foothold of an audience growing, and you are one of the folks who welcomes them and helps them get started. So great to have you. So to start things out, what was your early experiences in childhood with sports, and what got you going with even interest in sports at all? So,
Oh gosh, it starts back with pretty much my dad was a big sports guy, and really into baseball and football mostly, but kind of watched a little bit of everything. And as I got older, I started playing sports, and I don't know, I just kind of really latched on to football and baseball as my main two as well.
so
And
did you
got,
actually take those through high school then? Or?
yeah, actually, baseball I did all the way from little league to all the way through sophomore year of high school, and I just really focused on football. Football I didn't start until actually high school, so kind of
All
accelerated
right.
more in football.
Great. And as far as then collecting cards, when did that all start for you?
Oh gosh, way back probably when I was 5, 6 years old.
So what are we
Never really.
talking? 89 tops or 88
Yeah,
or
but back then you could buy 80, 85, 86 tops when it was in 1989.
oh yeah. But so were you collecting just baseball, or did you go multi-sport, or what were your
It was actually heavy in baseball and football, and then I narrowed it down to, oh gosh, in my probably in my mid 20s, late 20s, I just decided to focus strictly on baseball. I just wanted to focus on one sport.
all right. And being are you born and raised out there in Nebraska? Is that
Yeah,
lifelong or
born, raised, and hopefully die in Nebraska.
okay? And being as that you don't necessarily have any major teams nearby, what does that end up being as far as a typical fandom there?
Oh, it gets pretty mixed. In Western Nebraska, you get a lot of Rockies fans. In kind of Eastern Nebraska, you get a lot of, it gets real diverse. You get St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs, Kansas City Royals are huge. You get Twins, kind of a little bit of everything, kind of, in the Midwest.
So are your I know you've mentioned Cubs being a team. Was that your primary? I'm having a mental
Yeah,
moment there.
I got kind of attached to the Cubs as the Ryan Sandberg and Sean Dunston, Andre Dawson, Mark Grace era.
Oh yeah, the classic team. I mean, that was 89 especially then with their duel with the Giants in the NLCS was a classic. So
Yeah.
uh, I mean that was I would say that was almost out of all the playoff series in baseball I've ever seen the biggest like individual duel between two players almost with Will Clark and Mark Grace, like
Yeah,
hitting a clutch hit every single time they came to
literally,
bat. I mean, uh,
Will Clark was stealing signs, possibly.
it's not
That's
what
what
it
I've
was.
heard. I've heard that. I don't know how true it is.
Uh, yeah, but they were both phenomenal in that series, and it came down to the wire ultimately. But not that it helped them when they got demolished by the Oakland A's. But uh, so then moving on, did you then have quite a long gap years as far as stopping collecting?
Oh, so I really collected all the way through high school, and then when I moved out on my own independently, I stopped for maybe a couple of years, and then my dad called me up one day and said, "Hey, I got your old baseballs, sport cards at our house, and I'm gonna throw them in the trash can if you don't come by and get them within a month." So it kind of resparked me into the hobby, and that was maybe 2003, 2004, and been collecting stronger. Then I got more into vintage, as adult money. You can open up your horizon more.
Oh yeah, because then now I see your tastes go from the kind of golden era all the way through modern, where you kind of mix it up, presenting your cards there. So
That's kind
uh,
of my favorite area, areas.
yeah,
50s
and
today.
all right, and is there particular projects you like to do within that? Because it seems to be quite a mix of what you end up presenting, where it's very varied from video to video. I mean, just the other day we had Lamar Hoyt, and uh, prior to that Kevin Moss, and then you had Whitey Ford. So it's
Yeah, it's a big mix. You know, to me for collecting, it's just not about the Hall of Famers. It's the guys that we all loved, and you know people. When I showed Lamar Hoyt, I'm sure that brings White Sox fans back to those days. It's like, oh yeah, I remember him. That's kind of what I enjoy doing. Just kind of those guys that everybody's got sharing mantles and mays and all that, but not too many people share Lamar Hoyt.
oh yeah, he had some good seasons there in the early '80s when Lou Russo was the manager of that team, and um,
Yeah,
I mean, that would be my early years of following baseball. Uh, so is there, I guess I'm trying to get, is there any overarching project, or you just collect it all? I mean,
kind of
rhyme
love
and
the
reason any of it, or
no, just kind of collect it all. I like doing probably like player runs of top space cards. I really like doing that, but there's really no general. Obviously, I'm not going to finish a Mickey Mantle top run card, but I just kind of enjoy doing the top runs. I just finished up Earl Batty, and there's a few other ones. Max Alvis, just guys like that. It's real affordable to, and those guys are past ulcers that just nobody ever talks about. It's just fun, kind of adding their cards, and they're cheap.
oh yeah, that is one benefit collecting the lesser known players, is that yeah, it's phenomenally inexpensive.
Also, I still collect the Hall of Famers that everybody loves, but my love has really been kind of shifting towards guys like those guys.
And have you delved any of the older pre-war of anything, or are you just sticking past the '50s and beyond type of thing?
Golden era, I really focus on the golden. I do have some pre-war, but it's pretty minimal, maybe 10 to 15 cards, not much.
All right,
It's
and then
kind
with
of
the go ahead.
just kind of for me, kind of the segregation was starting to break apart in the 50s, so late 40s and the 50s, and so me, that's the playing field is level. It's just kind of fun to To me that was like the golden era of baseball.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When anybody ever talks about the ranking of players, it feels to me like, how do you rank guys who didn't play against everybody that was the best versus then once you got, you know, by 59, the Red Sox were the last team to integrate. So everybody has got a full open ticket to the majors at that point. You've got the Latin players exploding on the scene as well. And you don't have the other major sports really competing for the talent because baseball was king. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and yeah, how do you, if Willie and Hank Aaron are the best players when all the best players were allowed to play, how are they not ranked 1 and 2? So, but yeah, it does make it tough then to compare the eras there. So, um, as far as your football collecting, do you end up then with the Bears, or I know I heard you mention in a video the Niners you were favoring in the Super Bowl at least, but um, where's your football fandom end up lying?
I ended up going to New England Patriots for some the Drew Bledsoe era when Patriots drafted Bledsoe
Okay, I
back in
was
what
not
90,
expecting that one, but
back in '93.
yeah, that's one of those big what ifs. What if Drew Bledsoe does not get injured and Brady does not get the full shot he got? Because Bledsoe was like on a Hall of Fame trajectory there. So,
Yeah,
uh, I mean, yeah, they did make the Super Bowl with Parcells where they lost, but and
for
yeah,
the
who
Packers.
knows what
Yeah,
happens. So, do you actually go with the vintage football, or is that mostly the era that you watch then that you end up collecting?
just the era I watched, and I actually ended up giving my whole collection away to one of my old coworkers. His son was into football. I was like, you know what? You just have my football collection. I just want to focus on baseball, and here you go.
All right. And
But
I guess back to baseball. You want to show some sample cards of kind of things that you like to collect? Then,
yeah, I got a few here. I'm kind of grab. Actually, I'll just show got the Lamar Wood still sitting out. Here's his rookie card from '81. Just showed that in that video.
yeah, those classic White Sox
And I got
design there.
the '66 Mantle.
Nice.
So it's in the old SBC slabs, and what comes to me in slabs, I don't care. I like SGC, PSA, Beckett. I'm not picky. There's a '63 Koufax. It's trying to
Awesome.
fight the glare here, and we'll go with we got the '57 Ted Williams.
That
So
is a
there's a
classic
few.
card.
It's kind of I don't think I got too much more sitting around. Here's the modern. They're kind of on a Jerkson Profar push here. He'll eventually be a player spotlight. It's kind of like him. I don't know why.
I find myself having a hard time caring as much about the modern players when I'm older than lots of the managers. I,
Yeah, that's. I don't really focus on modern. I collect it, but I just can't really. I don't push it as hard.
yeah. But,
I'll never spend anything over probably $20 on a card for modern.
oh yeah, it's completely insane with this whole manufactured scarcity parallel garbage where
Uh,
they price it ridiculously. Yeah. I it and it you know you look back at the era of players when we were kids and the guys that were the hot prospects, how many percentage of their cards are now commons? So the money that's flying around just feels insane. So,
I agree. Yes.
but anything else you got in front of you, or
No, let me see. I actually have a. Actually, yeah, this is going actually out to Greg Tiger 727. I got a nice little care package going. It's the Desert Shield Andy Van Slyke. He's
Nice.
collecting the Desert Shield cards, so I had a few of them hanging around. And then some. I don't know. I'm gonna throw some random like 89 Bo Jackson in there. He's a Bo Jackson collector. He probably has it, but I got some NASCAR stuff I'm gonna send him. So yeah, it's about all I got sitting out right now.
All right. So I did have some questions for you as far as YouTube goes. Then, uh, I guess my first question is what initially got you going on YouTube in the first place. Then I do have questions about the whole channel thing that happened though after that. But um,
Yeah,
so
you,
so what
you guys know me.
initially inspired you to start making YouTube videos?
Um, it was actually an old coworker of mine. He's like, "Man, you got one heck of a collection." He's like, you need to start sharing it." So that's just kind of how I get started on YouTube.
All right, and yeah. So how long was it ago? Because it seems there was comments initially of the oldest things I can see on your current channel where you had a previous channel and it all was deleted. So what's the story there? I'm very curious. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's been so long. It's yeah, I don't know. I've been making probably 6 or so years. I've been actually making content, and I don't. The initial one, my channel, blew up pretty quick for to what I thought. Was I think it was up to about 700 subscribers maybe, and then you don't know how to manage it, and then it was just consuming me. So you just have to kind of learn how to kind of manage your time. For me, it's like guys that put out daily videos, 20 minutes long. It's impossible to keep up with that. It really is. And
Oh yeah.
I was trying to watch it all, and it just kind of overconsumed me, and just got frustrated and get rid of the channel.
All right. You know, uh so then, ultimately, why did you decide to come back then after that and start again?
Oh, I stayed in contact with quite a bit of guys, and they're just like, "Man, you need to come back," and all that. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I will," but I'm gonna take a whole different approach of how I handle YouTube. You know, I like to
Yeah.
I like to support everybody, but you only have so much time in the day, and you just kind of have to know how to prioritize everything, really.
Oh, exactly. I mean, especially now there are hundreds of channels that are kind of in our genre, well, especially even more for you since you're going through modern up to modern kind of stuff too. But uh, it's impossible to keep up with everybody, maintain contact with everybody. But what you're doing there where you highlight a channel at least or more with every video is really nice. So want to give you kudos for making that effort to help people. So
Yeah,
uh
thank you.
but uh so now then with the YouTube in a manageable way, what do you feel like it's bringing you? Because I know a few months back there you did feel like you were burned out again, and then you came back. So you know, how is YouTube treating you these days? Then, from your thoughts.
It's good. Sometimes you just have to kind of take a step back instead of just get completely frustrated and leave.
Yeah. Um, so now you're looking at it as you're just gonna, you feel like making a video, you make a video. You don't feel like what you don't, right? I mean, so um, we can only do what we have time to do. So
I try.
uh,
I try. So my goal is usually, maybe one a week, but if it happens, if it happens, I don't really like to push more than that.
oh yeah. I mean, And ultimately, it seems like your goal is to keep, contact with people and make friends in this space, and that,
Yeah, exactly.
ultimately you're achieving that goal. So anything else is, extraneous, really, beyond that. So, I mean, that's kind of where I came from, joining YouTube myself. That I was hobbying alone. I didn't want to be alone. So, um,
Yeah, make some friends and interact and chit chat.
oh yeah. So, I guess I am actually kind of covered with my usual topics here. Anything else you'd like to share with the audience before I ask you some off topic questions?
No,
All right, then. Uh, as a child, what did you dream of being when you grew up?
oh man, like I always loved like space, so maybe like astronaut was like always one of my dreams. But I don't even think America sends astronauts into space, so that's thrown out the window, anyways.
Yeah, honestly, I had the same one. And then it was when I was in seventh grade when the Challenger exploded, and I kind of veered away from that one. But
No, yeah,
uh, is the most famous person you've ever encountered in real life?
most famous. Oh, there's a couple stories there. So I went to high school with a pitcher for the Minnesota Twins named Brian Dunzing, and we actually played ball up until I quit baseball, and then um, we actually stayed in contact when he threw his minor league years, and then when he hit the Twins, we lost contact.
Yeah.
And then my dad's best friend growing up was Brian Polberg. He was a coach for the Kansas City Royals for years, and uh, we'd go to Royals games and we'd eat like dinner, lunch with them, and that was kind of fun. He'd tell us all about the players and whatnot. That was about it, really.
All right.
There's not much in Nebraska.
Sure. Do you have a favorite song?
Oh man, my music variety goes everything from old school country to old school hip hop to a little bit of modern rock and roll. Just kind of like a little bit of everything. So favorite song. Oh man, that's a tough one. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin's right up there. Um,
That's a good
I go
answer.
back. I go
What
back
was
to each enemy. Just depends, really.
okay? Uh, you have a well. Let me exclude it because I had too many people giving the easy of a dog. What's your favorite animal? Let's exclude the easy pet answers.
Favorite animal? Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I was like penguins. I don't know why. I just kind of always like penguins.
All right. They are fun to watch when they waddle around. So,
Uh,
if you could have any superhero power, what would you want to choose?
oh man, probably not being able to die because that's dying just sounds kind of fearful and scary.
All right. That's the first one I heard is being an immortal. So cool. Uh, if you had the ability to swap lives with anyone throughout history for a day, and let's just assume you have their abilities so you could experience what it was like to do what they could do, who would you choose?
Oh boy, that's a tough one there. Let me think. I don't know. I think someone like maybe like a president of the United States, like maybe Kennedy or Lincoln would have been kind of interesting.
You might want to skip those one days in particular, right?
Yeah,
Don't
besides just
visit
that,
the Ford
yeah.
Theater or go on a Dallas motorcade, but
No, just what they did for the country. It'd be
sure.
kind of fun to.
You have a favorite movie?
Oh boy, I was always big into Inglorious Bastards with Brad Pitt, American Psycho, Christian Bale. Those were probably two of my top favorites.
All right. Did you have a favorite subject in school?
And history, that'd be history.
That is seemed to be a common answer with those of us. It does not seem surprising with our desire to collect vintage baseball cards. So, uh, you have a favorite food?
Oh, spaghetti all the way. It's got to be spaghetti or pizza.
All right. If I told you you had to get rid of every single card you owned except for one, what would be the one left behind?
And I'd have to think about probably my Koufax rookie or my Banks rookie. Probably a Koufax rookie.
All right. Well, you survived my questions there. So thanks for joining me on here, Steve. It was great to have you learn a little more about you. Um, any last words for the viewing audience at home?
Now, just we're kind of we're one community here, so help each other out when we can, and try to stay positive on each other and help each other out. It's all for fun and it's all for making new friendships and keeping friendships.
Well said. So everybody, I appreciate you watching. Certainly, if you're not subscribed to Vintage Card Steve, go give him a look and sign up. And everyone, thanks for joining us here on For Collectors, and we will see you next time.